It's the Fingerbang Radio Show live out of Ottawa, Ontario with your host Mitch. Brandon is actually going to be down in the next 2 days. He got a place in Ottawa. Did you know?
Oh.
It's exciting stuff.
Where is he right now?
He's in Trenton right
now.
now.
That sounds like a place that would have a waterfall, but there's a garbage dump behind it.
We'll have to ask him when he gets back. Joining me in the studio this evening on our 10:30 at night late show, it's Matt Francis joins me in the studio.
Hello.
From Weird with Cats. You were on last week with Andrew Pomfret, your bandmate. Does that sound gay? Bandmate?
Maybe a little bit, but we're a little gay anyway.
Yeah, that's fun. Your bandmate Andrew Pomfret and you yourself were here last week for actually another late show.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get another one out of the way tonight. You were too busy to get it here at 7, but I really don't mind at all. I was watching Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I feel better about drinking whiskey at 10:30 at night than I do at 7
yeah,
anyway.
I know. I just ate. I'm like, ugh. That's the thing. Like, I don't like drinking beer after a big meal, but whiskey, I'll be like, man, pass it over. It's light.
As good as reason as any, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, Brandon will actually be down the next 2 days, and he's going to be down for about a week. He must be just down getting his apartment ready, so I'm going to see if while he's down here, be like, yo, get to my house, and even if we don't do it live, I just want to get a show out, so we can be like,
you can do one on Wednesday.
So people don't just think he died.
Whatever normal people do on a Wednesday.
I don't know normal. I drink on Wednesdays.
I think some people go to church on Wednesdays.
People go to church on Wednesdays?
I don't know. If Easter falls on a Wednesday, maybe. I don't know.
I don't go to a church. Where's the nearest church to you?
The nearest church to me is actually just up Riverside Drive from where I live, and they have like a choir and everything, and like funk bands play there on Saturday night.
That's awesome.
It's actually a good time as long as you avoid the minister, because he's just like, well, if you're here enjoying the funk music, you clearly love God.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, I just want to hear the funk, man.
Yeah.
So Matt joins me in the studio. Matt, why were you late? I'm not getting mad. I just want to know where were you hanging?
I was just actually just out doing some stuff, hanging with some people, actually scouting a few locations for what will be the cover of the first EP from Weird with Cats. The EP is going to be called It's Always Greener. It's 2 songs, and on one side it's going to be Andrew looking all fancy, nice dressed, living in a nice house, and on the other side, it's going to be me looking as I normally do, looking all grunge like Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, yes, Mr. Cobain. We'll put you on camera later so people can see that lovely vest.
Oh, you got to see the shirt underneath it.
Wow.
Yeah. We won't talk about that.
Secrets,
copyright issues.
Yeah, we'll have to blur it out. I'm sure I can figure that out. What we're going to talk about, we're actually going to go to the flea market this weekend, but we decided we're going to go next weekend. There's a big flea market just outside of Ottawa. I'm the kind of person, I love goddamn flea markets.
No, me too.
It's a constant excitement. I love seeing people's old shit. First of all, it can either be really interesting or so awful that it's just hilarious.
And you're going to buy it because
be
it's
like,
that
that's
bad.
Hilarious.
Number 2 reason why flea markets are the greatest places in the world: people watching.
Yeah, exactly.
You just meet and see the best people in the world at a flea market.
People at flea markets, I would vote worse than Walmart people.
Oh, absolutely.
Because at least Walmart people, it's like, I want new things.
Yeah.
You go to a flea market, you're like, not only do I want shit, but I want some old person shit.
That they used before me. If you see people, I don't know, there's a thing about buying like utensils and stuff for me.
Yeah.
Maybe like a set of forks. That really gets to me at a flea market.
Yeah, or it's someone's just rubbing their tongue through the prongs.
Yeah, oh, there's something in there that they want, Yeah. And that's my problem with flea markets. But the greatest thing about it is you have those certain people who go to flea markets, right? So you have the people like the video game guys. They go every week looking for that one game that they'll never friggin' find, but they want it. They want it badly. You have the people who are there pretending they have cool vinyl record collections, but they're buying Bruce Willis records because they have no taste.
He's making a stab at me right now. We're at school yesterday. We CKDJ, actually CKDJ 1079, and there was a Bruce Willis Return of Bruno album in the back, and I was like, I want this.
What frightens me is the album that came before it that warranted a return of.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, the album was in shit condition, dude. The fucking the sleeve was falling apart.
It was probably the only copy, and a lot of people wanted to hear it.
Yeah, exactly. All these scratches in it. I'm like, how does this happen? But yeah, I think with flea markets, when you have to get vinyl, you have to pick I think you have to go to garage sales for that kind of thing. Because at flea markets, it's 2 kinds of people. It's people who are just selling everything they own to make a buck, and then the person who knows everything about what they're selling.
Like the knife guys.
The knife guy, the video game guy knows exactly what he has, and you're not getting a good deal on it.
No.
You know?
He's like, oh, you want this copy of Duck Hunt, eh? This is the last one in the world. And you know he's lying, but you want it right now. So you're just like, okay, I'll pay $40 for Duck Hunt.
Yeah, exactly. They'll just trick you into buying anything because, I mean, you know,
they work at a flea market.
They work at a flea market. They're obviously not the greatest people around. What's the worst thing you think you've seen at a flea market?
I've definitely seen a guy trying to sell what appeared to be speakers. But they were just definitely converted into cat houses.
Nice.
Like you look in the back and you're just like, there's cat litter in here, and there is no electronics to speak of.
I saw an old man. He was wearing a tuxedo. It wasn't even a thing for sale. It was just an old man. He was selling his stuff wearing a full tuxedo in like 32-degree heat.
Nice.
But it was like an old ass tuxedo that looked like it was bought off the rack.
Was it a frilly front?
Yeah.
Oh wow, what a
frilly
hero.
front. He had the
flower.
No, he did have a flower though.
Okay.
But it was crazy because I'm like, dude, first of all, you're like 90. Yeah. You're pushing 100. You shouldn't be out in this heat wearing a full tuxedo, full cummerbund.
Oh my god.
The frill. And also, why if you own a tux but it doesn't fit correctly, don't wear that tux.
Yeah.
A suit, you don't buy a suit of any kind just off the rack and go,
okay,
work.
Well, maybe
if it fits off
if he
the rack.
was pushing 100 though, could that have been a suit that fit him at some point in his life?
Maybe, but I don't know.
He decided to put it on. He's like, well, the last time I wore this was prom, and my arms have definitely shrunk a bit, but maybe
he took Mary Jane Bob down to the
Mary Jane Bob. That sounds like a donkey.
It sounds like he took her to the prom, and then they made intercourse down by the lake,
down by the crick.
Down by the crick. Crick sounds racist.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I like old people.
I
don't like old people, but I like their shit that they sell.
I like the idea of old people.
Yeah.
That they're just, especially one like, and this is going to sound awful, but the old widower or the old widow who refused to throw out their deceased significant other's stuff.
You're making me sad.
And I'm sorry, but it's like, okay, from personal experience, like my grandfather passed away like 10 years ago, so I was like 13. We're going through the house, like cleaning stuff up, and we found some pretty cool shit. We found like an Atari, you know, all this cool stuff. But we're also finding like all my grandmother's clothes, and she had died 10 years previously to that. He just didn't throw it out, you know. And I just like the idea of somebody being like that in love
sad?
with that sad and that in love with somebody. Like my grandfather stopped sleeping in their bedroom, like that excites me, and like it's like that's nice, you know, that's love that I've never known until you actually meet the old person and you're like, you're a fucking asshole. Like old people, I worked at an old folks home when I was like 15 for like my volunteer hours in high school.
I wouldn't want you bathing me with a sponge.
I didn't bathe anybody, but I had to friggin' hand out tea and coffee, and I asked this old woman, I was like, would you like tea or coffee? She goes, I would like tea. And I hand her the tea, and she seems so sweet. Till I hand her the tea, and she goes, I want fucking coffee, and she throws the tea at me. And that's the day I was just like, I gotta go.
I'm very against senior discounts.
Yeah.
I'm very against it. Because my thoughts is like, you've been on this planet for 70 years. You should have the money to pay full price for things. I think student discounts should be more enforced than senior discounts.
Oh, absolutely.
I saw a lady, I used to work at McDonald's, she had a hat that said, don't forget my senior's discount. I nearly threw the coffee in her face. I was like, how dare you? How dare you? I was like, literally, I was so pissed.
Was it like a baseball cap?
Yeah.
Oh, what a bitch.
That had in it, not even just like a sticker, but like
somebody stitched this shit for her.
Don't forget my senior's discount with an exclamation point.
Yeah.
Know what I did? I didn't give her no senior's discount. That's for sure.
No, good man. Good man.
I hope everyone treats her that way. She's probably dead now. Good riddance.
She's bones now.
She's so bones now, and it makes me happy every day. I wake up. I get through the day knowing that she's probably bones.
Yeah, and you know, I knew a lot of people who would bitch about it. Like my dad was always just like, I don't need a senior's discount. That's bullshit. My dad turned 65 2 years ago. Motherfucker's just raking it in. He's like, hey, if you need anything, I'm going to Shoppers. I'm like, why the hell are you going to Shoppers? Yeah, it's Wednesday. 25% off everything for old motherfuckers like me.
Nice.
And I'm just like, well, I guess get me 6 bags of milk, because that seems like a legitimate thing I should buy.
Is it really 25% off?
I think it's on Wednesdays, like, and they get like a shit ton off, or
a certain day. See, that's not right. I think, like, to me, it's like, especially with how much tuition costs, and I don't think college has that's good. Like university, it gets really fucking bad, you know.
Yeah.
Especially for university, most people move from out of town, and they have to find an apartment from Trenton, places like such. But it's like every day there should be like 25% off for students because it's like, yo, it sucks, bro. Well, let's help you out.
You know how I'm paying you? A sock full of change.
Sock full, exactly.
I'll take the special, please.
If you pay out of a sock, then you should have to, or if there's more than 10 pennies in the money you're paying with, you
should move home.
Yeah, keep your pennies Wednesdays. That would be good.
Yeah, that would be nice, or just like no odd change Tuesdays. So everything comes out to like an even number.
But then most people would be like, hey man, you got any change? I want a burger. And then just be like, oh, I'm so poor. And people are like, don't you know? Let's keep your change Wednesdays. You'd be like, whoa, who knew? And then they keep going every Wednesday.
Then every Wednesday it's like,
I know your face. You know what day it is.
Yeah. Well, there has to be something they can do. But I mean, everybody gets their student cards, and there's certain places you can go that do offer student discounts, but it's not as widely like advertised.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, we do student discounts.
There should be discounts all day, every day.
For everybody.
Yeah.
Everything should just be cheaper.
Yeah, I agree, yeah. You know a Big Mac meal costs like $8-something now?
$8?
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've eaten meat.
Yeah. That's nuts to me. Like that's like too much.
I recall going to McDonald's with my mom when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And she would always buy me like a McChicken meal. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure it was like $3.75.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, that was all enough like long ago, but
that's the thing. Like people are always like, things are so much more expensive. It's like, yeah, well, when a piece of candy cost,
a quarter of a penny,
a quarter of a penny was worth like 10 cents.
Yeah.
Like people forget that there was like a like everything was in perspective of
how much money people had and how much money was worth.
It's like, yeah, you could buy a new tire for your car for $8, but it would take you about 6 months to get $8.
Yeah.
So
you only make $8 every month.
Yeah, so when people are like, I used to be able to get a bottle of pop and a bag of chips for $1, it's like, yeah, and you were also bankrupt because you spent $1 on a bag of chips and a bottle of pop.
It still makes me jealous though when I watch those older movies and you see a sign that says cigarettes like 69 cents, and I'm just like, shit. It's like, really? Yeah. This seems unfair to me.
Yeah. And then you're like, I go back in time, but then you're
like, I only have 69 cents. Should I buy smokes or should I get on the bus?
And you're like, half of these quarters are from 2003, so you'd have to go and find old change, and it'd take a lot of preparing to go in a time machine. I wouldn't just go haphazardly.
That's the thing they never touch on, is like how much you have to think about it, because you go back and you have this money.
You flick them a brand new shiny loony with the Olympic rings on it. And
they're just like, this hasn't happened yet. And then they throw you away.
I like the guy at the diner who's like, looks at the car, he's like, this hasn't happened yet. I want to meet him. He knows shit. He's up to no good.
Yeah.
You alright?
What?
You see Mitchie.
Shut up. I went down a slide today. And
what?
It was rusty.
You realize you were late, right? Like, were you sliding?
I wasn't high.
Man.
Yes.
We're talking flea markets.
Well, yeah, we were talking flea
markets. I want to
markets.
go, though, but we're not going to go this weekend. We'll go next weekend.
I feel like next weekend is going to be really sunny for some reason.
Yeah, that's what you want.
And you want a really nice day where you can see the dust in the cracks in the people's faces who are selling things.
Nice tuxedo, old man. This old guy selling like old lighters, but like I was looking for a good Zippo, and like he had really nice like couple retro looking, like a bright orange one, stuff like stuff you don't see. And then the rest of them were like knockoffs that just had like bald eagles with like American flag backdrops. Oh, God bless America, or like USA. I'm like, first of all, where'd you get these? This is Canada. Like, it was very strange. I am excited to go though.
Yeah. You always find at least one thing that you really want, but you don't end up getting it, and you're in the car on the way home, and you're like, I should have gotten it.
Yeah, I should have.
Like the old radio we saw in Kingston.
Yeah. We were in Kingston. I saw an old-timey radio, I guess, AM, FM radio, but it was like old style. Yeah. And I was in the car on the way back. I was going, man, like it would have been $45, but
I would have had a lot of fun with that.
I would have been pretty happy having it.
It's those are the kind of things you want when you're like 14, because you can hide your pot in them.
Yeah. Like I have an alarm clock here that had the battery latch on the bottom. Yeah. Like for when the power goes out. There you go, man. That's it.
Right in there. Back of my PlayStation 2.
Yeah?
Oh, right in there.
Oh, so easy.
Dogs are bad.
Drugs are bad. I remember telling my dad, I was like, man, there's so many signs like that you can look for when you're like, dude, my kids. First of all, my first sign is if you go downstairs in the morning and the microwave has 1 second left on it, it's because your kid was up at 5 a.m. making Hot Pockets and he didn't want to wake you up with the beep, beep, beep. So right when it was ready, he pulled it. That's
the ultimate game.
That's the ultimate game.
I still do that.
Yeah,
Sober.
I do that
I'm just
too.
like, I wait how long into that last second before I open it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it doesn't go off. But when it goes off, it's like the end of the world. Because then, fuck, my mom's gonna find my pot.
I pretend I'm in like the show 24. I'm like boop 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 boop. I pretend I'm Jack Bauer. I was like, yes, I got it, Bauer.
He yells a lot.
Do you think when he goes to cook something in the microwave and he puts in like 24 minutes and he just goes fuck?
I've never seen the show.
Well, it says, oh no, the show's called. I didn't watch it either, but it's called 24.
I can imagine there's the shows where there's nothing he has to do.
Yeah.
And he's just standing in front of the microwave. He's like, I hope my mom doesn't find me.
Yeah. Should have hit at my battery latch on my
Beep, beep.
alarm clock.
Beep beep. Flea markets.
I'm going though. I'm so excited. I love going to them.
No, they're fantastic. They're a good time. Mm-hmm. And you never ever really you never know what you're gonna find.
Yeah.
You know, and you always find one awesome thing and one really ridiculous thing that you're like, hey guys, come over here and look at this thing. And you don't realize that you're really embarrassing the person who's trying to sell it.
Yeah.
Because you're just like,
because they're like, well, that costs $30. You're like, yeah, thanks, buddy. Like, I'm going to buy this shit.
Like, I'm going to buy a porcelain cat.
Yeah.
Maybe I would. I don't know. But have to be pretty...
Yeah, it is, though. It's totally that situation where I'll be like, oh, my God, look at this piece of shit. And the guy's like, I'll take $35 for that. And I'm like, I'll give you a quarter, buddy, because this is shit.
Yeah.
I have a board game up here called Project KGB. And
Looks
it's like
fantastic.
spy training. I just bought it because it's like KGB.
Did you
on
buy
the
it at
box.
the flea market?
Yeah.
Nice.
At the flea market we're going to.
Nice.
But I bought it because I was like, that's funny, KGB, Russian spies and shit. And then I bought it, and I was like, how much is that? The guy's like, $4. I was like, give me that shit. That's
$4 for learning how to spy on Canada.
How to
get into the
Diefenbunker. Into the Diefenbunker. Also, they have swords and shit, and I'm always like, I want one. Then my mom's like, put that down. I'm 20 years old.
You can only have 2 ninja stars and 1 pair of nunchucks. But Mom,
I want the sword. It does more damage. I also want to buy, like, now that I do the show, I feel I'll just buy things and I'll justify them as, oh, it'll be a funny thing to talk about on the show. That's how I buy things now. I'll be like, what's funny? Like, do you think I play the organ, but you gave it to me? Because I'd be like, no, it'd be funny on the show if we had an organ.
And I was like, you know what's funny? I have an organ that I don't play.
Yeah, I'll have it. Like, that's the only reason I buy things.
That was actually one of my greatest finds of all time. Was
It is
this
pretty
beauty
good.
organ. Give everybody a little tune.
I'll give them a little tune on the organ.
Praise Jesus.
Praise Jesus.
And that was $20 in Valley
$20. Valley. That's why I love going to Valley. Like, I went the other day to Valley Village, and I'm like, it's not as good as a flea market, but it'll tide me over till this Sunday.
It's a weekday flea market.
Yeah.
You're just like, what do you want to do on Tuesday?
That's exactly it. I'll go, and there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
There's Valley Village, there's a Salvation Army, and there's a Goodwill. So I'll just hit them all up and
People
look for
don't give
stupid shit.
Goodwill enough credit.
Yeah.
More people have to go to Goodwill because then they'll end up more like Valley Village, where you're like, there was once something really cool here because there's that big space on the shelf.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, they haven't filled it with another Super Nintendo yet.
Yeah. I always look for record players, but then I was telling my dad, he's like, if you bought a record player, how do you know it's even going to work? It'll probably be shit.
You need to check for the needle, all that shit, you know.
Yeah.
But whatever, we just want quirky looking things.
I just want stupid shit. Like, I love the organ because it's awesome looking. Plus, I have an organ.
And you have something to keep your booze on.
Yeah, it's basically just a booze shelf with buttons. But I want to go. I'd like to get a mandolin. I think that'd be funny.
Why?
I don't know. Why not?
I can play mandolin.
Well, there you go. You can play it when you come over.
I'm down. We'll have a little jam. Praise
We'll have
Jesus.
a jam. Praise Jesus. Some mandolin. These instruments don't go together. Turn it off.
Oh God. No. Sometimes, you know what's always scary though is actually trying to buy a legitimate instrument at a flea market or something like that. You know, because You're like, can I play it? And they look at you and they're like, well, are you going to buy it? You're like, well, maybe I should fucking play it first.
Yeah.
You know?
You have no idea what you're getting at these places either, right?
There's going to be so many little things wrong with everything.
Like, I have a big Nintendo collection. Yeah. It's scary buying those because you'll buy them, and some of them, it's like, it's really hard to get those games to work because they're so old as shit.
And so it's do not blow into them.
Yeah,
but...
some kid was fucking, like, blown into it and just spitting into it and, like, threw it across his room and shit, so.
Oh, Mom, Duck Hunt doesn't work anymore. Give me a new copy. That's $40. That's
$40. The nice man told me. He might have been lying, but who knows? I don't remember.
Video games?
Well, no. I don't care.
No.
That's one thing, like, doing the show, I'm always like, topics I don't want to go into. Video games. Because you're always sitting with one person, like, usually, who's like, okay, let's talk about video games. I'm like, I don't want it.
No, we don't.
Do you play this new game? I'm like, no.
But speaking of video games, board games and stuff like that, you guys do have a new show coming up.
We do, yeah. We have to get that set up. End of the month, that's going to start. We're doing Cake Talk Productions presents Dry Spells. That's going to be hosted by myself, our Dungeon Master, Ian Mitchell, and Brandon Doucette, and like a weekly changing guest. So basically, we're going to play Dungeons and Dragons on the show. Supposedly there are podcasts. I haven't really listened to them. There's actually a couple that Ian was telling me that are very famous that do that. They just go on, they have the mics, and they play Dungeons and Dragons.
That sounds lovely.
It sounds fun, but I want to do it almost like, I want to take it seriously, like, actually competitive, but it'll be funny.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be entertaining to listen to.
Well, I would feel listening to four guys play Dungeons and Dragons on Friday or Saturday night would be entertaining for anybody who's getting laid.
Yeah, well, that's where the name Dry Spells. Again, my most clever of fucking titles.
Yeah.
So that's good. What else do we have coming up?
You and I
are
going to be...
Matt Francis and I have had an idea for the last about year or so to do a show called Hardcovered. It's going to be a book review music show. So basically we're just going to build the soundtrack to some of the biggest literary classics.
And some new books
and some new books and stuff like that. And just kind of talk about reading and stuff like that. It's
Don't worry,
one of the more...
It's going to be all Metallica.
It's all Metallica.
All Metallica and dubstep.
Play Saint Anger again. Okay. So it's basically just going to be one of the more serious shows that I think we're going to be doing. It's not going to be as much dick jokes as it will be book jokes.
Penis jokes.
Penis
Phallus jokes.
Yeah. So that'll be good. So that'll just be another one that we're going to do. Once the website's up, it'll be easier to promote the stuff. It's just, I don't know. We're still waiting, but supposedly things are rolling, so who knows?
Yeah.
Should be a good time.
We'll get some guests in. We're going
to... should we tell them about the interview show?
The interview?
The video show.
Oh, yes.
This new idea just came to us. This is actually a brand new announcement, what we're going to do. New series that's going to be... It's going to take a while to get started, but it is going to happen.
We need to find some comfortable people to stand behind a camera.
Yeah, for this one. This is going to be actually a video. It's going to be... They're probably going to be like 20-minute episodes, I think, at the most. They're not going to be that long. They're actually going to be videos on the website. It's going to be called the Bathtub Interviews. What we're going to do is basically we're going to interview select people while they're sitting in a bathtub filled with bubbles, like
taking a bath,
just taking a bath. But we're gonna sit there with the camera, and like it'll be me like sitting on the toilet, not pooping. I always feel I have to explain that I won't be actually pooping on the show, but I will be sitting in a chair, and I will on like the toilet, and I'll be interviewing them. And it'll be very like. They won't be like joke interviews, like there'll be jokes and stuff, but it'll be very
formal.
Yeah, very
really
formal
finding out what people are doing.
But they'll be sitting in a bathtub the whole time.
Yeah.
So again, we're gonna start show because the only even close to celebrities we know are band Weird with Cats, of course, which you are the guitarist and the singer. So we're gonna do you guys first, just to kind of get it rolling and stuff, and then hopefully we can find other people who are doing other things and kind of put them in the tub.
Absolutely. I was thinking scented candles. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely. We're going to do the whole thing. We're going to have big candles behind you guys.
Beautiful.
And
rubber
bubbles
ducks.
And rubber ducks, the whole thing.
Perfect.
And, yeah, it's going to be good. So
it's going to be romantic, and there's going to be a lot of dick jokes.
Yeah, exactly. Just rearrange your bubbles, Matt. This is on camera. But the thing is, the only problem is, like, I'm doing the interview. I don't think Brandon's going to want to hold the camera.
No.
I need to find people, hopefully, who are willing to sit there with video cameras. And, like, good cameras. I want to do this right.
And
to really sit there and
I want you to
angles.
see every damn pore.
I want the angles, So I think it should be fun, though.
it should be a good time.
It should be good. I mean,
and
who knows?
I mean, anybody you
awful.
manage to get into a bathtub for an interview is probably a pretty easygoing person. You know, it's not like you're going to be sitting there. So, Mitt Romney, how are you this evening?
Playing with the bubbles. He's like, "Well, how are you doing?" So that will be fun. So that's on its way soon enough. Once we get the
website and the cameras.
website and all that stuff. I don't know what we're gonna do for the cameras.
We'll talk to the TV kids at school.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking I'll talk to the.
We'll be like, so, how cool are you?
With naked guys in a bathtub, they're like, I don't like you guys.
You should probably leave. We should just ask really ugly girls
to come into the bathroom. Yeah.
We'll just be like, that way there's no unfortunate hard-ons and everything else. So
should be good. I'm looking forward to it. So we have a couple projects on the way. It's just so much fucking work to get everyone, because it's like, I know how to do this. I can't draw. I can't do graphic design. I don't know how to edit video that well. I can kind of do it, but not good enough.
We can pretty much talk.
Yeah, I can talk, and I can, push that button there. That button's the one that does it. Did you know?
That one button?
That one button
the
there.
The one I'm looking at right now.
That's the one.
Oh, that's the button.
It's a good button.
Don't hit it again.
So what else? What are you up to?
I don't know. Writing a lot of music. I'm writing a book.
You're writing a book. You want to talk about that, or?
Yeah, sure.
You're like, no, okay.
That's awful.
Thanks for bringing it up.
No, I am writing a book. It's a novel.
Yeah.
It's a short little thing. I've got enough of it done, but there's still some major plot twists to go along with it. It's called Walter's Bakery. It's about this kid who just says a lot of anti-Semitic jokes and this pretty much hates his life. He lives in a small town. He's the last shoe shine boy in Middle America.
Nice.
There's a lot of references to my favorite musicians and authors throughout the entire book.
Book sounds very indie, like very hipster book.
You're going to be the only person to buy it.
It's the next Catcher in the Rye.
Mitchell's mom will be the only person to really own a copy of it.
I know, Matthew. I like the book. Would you sign it, please?
I'm going to dedicate it to your mother.
If it doesn't get published, we'll just Xerox a bunch of copies at the store and just give them out to people.
Just put them on people's doorstep with their newspapers.
Is that the new phone book? Just throw it away. I got Google.
But
and so was the fate.
It's coming along. It's I won't give anything really away, but it's kind of a coming of age story. I actually have an idea for a second book I want to do, where I actually want to commit myself to an insane asylum for an entire year and write a journal entry every day, highly fictionalized, but taking kind of what I see every day in this place. And I'm probably going to go crazy in there anyway. Yeah. So whatever, I get crazier throughout the book until it just makes zero sense, and I make millions of dollars and spend it on SpongeBob toys at McDonald's.
Flea market stuff,
old tuxedos, and
so
God Bless America, I suppose.
I have so many. I can light so many smokes. The old guy, though, I was talking about at the flea market. If you're just tuning in, there's an old man at the flea market I go to, and he wears a full tuxedo in the dead of summer.
And he's lovely.
Yeah, and he's old as shit, and the tuxedo is like from 40 years ago and doesn't fit. Do you think, because he's so poor, if you were like, I'll give you $2,000 for your tuxedo if you take it off right now and give it to me, do you think he'd do it?
If you were 96 years old, would you have any shame left?
No, but I think I'd be like, I made it this far without someone giving me $2,000 to just buy my clothes off my back.
I'm pretty sure as long as I had, like, something to climb into later, I would probably do it. I'd just be like, you know what? This tux doesn't really fit.
Maybe he wears it because it is all he has, and he's like not selling enough God Bless America Zippos to buy a new shirt.
Maybe that tux smells really bad, for all we know, but maybe he just likes wearing a tux. Maybe he's not hard-pressed at all. Maybe he's just selling this stuff because he feels like it.
Maybe he's rich. Maybe he's like the Monopoly man.
Maybe he has sold over 1 million God Bless America Zippos.
Do you ever think maybe he's like he's like the guy who owns Zippo? He's like Mr. Zippo.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Zippo.
Dude, you're old as shit.
I'm pretty sure Mr. Zippo, whoever he was, died a long time ago. My dad has these old ones that he got from the Olympic Committee like years and years and years ago.
Back when giving away lighters was considered a normal thing to do.
Yeah, like, oh, here, you're going to be smoking in your office anyway.
Obviously.
Oh, man. I wish I was around. Yeah, your glass is empty and you're kind of sad.
I'm out of ice.
Show's over. I'm going home.
I'm done. I can't take the stress.
What do you mean the bottle's empty? But no, it's just, I feel like Mr. Zippo probably was a really cool guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's definitely dead. He's definitely bones now.
Well, yeah, he was fucking probably best friends with Frank and...
Frank and Joe of the Hardy Brothers? Or what?
Frank, when someone just says he was friends with Frank, I'm talking about Frank Sinatra.
Oh.
Not the guy. I don't think... is the guy from the Hardy Brothers?
Yeah, Frank and Joe Hardy.
Do you know their names?
Shut up.
I tried to read the book, and it was, like, offensive.
Oh, it is. They say N-words.
All the time. Like, they said, like, they were, like... Oh, my... It was crazy. I was like, this got published at one... Those books really are from, like, the 60s. Any book, like, those books are old as shit.
What was his name? W. Franklin Dixon, or Franklin W. Dixon, or whatever?
Yeah, the writer, yeah.
19 people is Franklin W. Dixon. 19
Really?
separate people have written Hardy Brothers books.
Really?
Under that name. Yeah.
Huh.
Because one would die, or it'd be like, okay, I'm moving on to Nancy Drew.
Yeah.
More
She's
serious.
a little classier, yeah.
You know, they don't say the N-word so much.
Yeah.
In case you're wondering, the N-word that I'm talking about, it's...
Don't say it.
I wasn't going to say it. I was going to make it... You ruined it. It's
They do, though. Like, I was reading it, and I was like, twice in this occasion have they just made, like, a comment. Not even, like, just poking a joke at someone, but just said something where it's like, you shouldn't say that.
No, absolutely.
It was very strange.
I have one Hardy Brothers book, and it was about a woman being kidnapped and kept in, like, underground tunnels or something. And I'm pretty sure there's about 7 different times where they express their hate for Native Americans.
Yeah, right? Like, I was reading one called The Yellow Feather Mystery. I was like, oh, this is going to be bad. And, like, I was like, one of my favorite tweets came out of it because I was, like, reading Hardy Boys 33, The Yellow Feather Mystery. Spoilers, the boys solve the mystery. They make an offensive comment about a black guy. Oh, it's crazy that they can get away with saying these things.
Yeah, well...
And these books are still... No, that's the thing. That's probably why they haven't reprinted the Hardy Boys. Number one, because there's like every store I go into, like flea market, there's a
collection
There's a giant collection of Hardy Boys books. Yeah. Not also... The writing, they would have to go through every books and change little
things.
Would.
They really would. They'd have to change a lot of things. And the books would be about 12 pages shorter.
Yeah, exactly.
It's rough.
It's so true.
Rough business, man. It's... I think any book, like if you read even, like... You read Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah.
You know, anything like that. There is derogatory things that weren't a big deal at the time.
Yeah, and now you read it, you're like, my lord.
My God. My neighbor happens to be Native American. Yeah. And he is a lovely man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, but the same thing. It's like you watch the Looney Tunes and you're like, that guy has a gun.
Yeah.
You're not allowed, you can't put a
Bugs
gun
Bunny
in
just stuck his finger down the barrel of a shotgun.
Yeah, double barrel.
Okay, Elmer Fudd tries to kill Bugs Bunny almost constantly. But you know what everybody didn't ever realize? It's the Roadrunner. It's Coyote and the Roadrunner. Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen the last episode of that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Genius.
Yeah.
The whole time you're thinking he's trying to kill this thing and eat it. Very last episode, tag. You're it. And the coyote takes off in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Genius.
Sure, it is.
But
yeah,
I am just so into old cartoons.
Yeah,
like,
I can't. I know I can. Like, I enjoy it, but it's like, I don't know.
It's just from anything like before the mid-90s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just good. We're not getting into the 90s conversation.
No, we're not. I hate that talk. I do. We talked about that on the show. I hate people who just like, you see it on Facebook all day, just like this if you remember this. And it's like fucking Power Rangers. You're like, other people who don't remember the Power Rangers? Like,
I feel bad for their lives. If you remember this, you were awesome.
It's like, everyone's awesome then. By your standards, everyone's awesome. That's
if you were born after 94, don't you talk to me about the 90s. Mm-hmm. I will kill you.
It's true. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I was raised in the 90s. You were 6 years old.
Yeah.
When it became the new millennium.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. At least I remember the millennium. I remember that day, you know?
Oh, man. I was 11 years old.
I was 8. I remember that shit, you know? I don't know. I think 5. I'd say 93, you're fine.
Yeah. Anywhere past that, it's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm even myself, I was born in 1989.
You don't remember that much.
You know, like, I remember the 90s. I remember, but I don't remember being like, oh, what a simple time it is living in the 90s at this exact moment. You know?
Back when candy cost 5 cents and same price right now.
Everything. When Fun Dip, you could buy it anywhere. Not just at Bulk Barn.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about marketing. Honestly, Kara, my girlfriend, was over the other day, and we started talking about marketing and like how brilliant marketing is,
or how bad it can be. Sometimes.
How bad it is, but like, I'd seen these commercials the other day. If you haven't seen, there's new commercials for Red Stripe beer, which we forgot to buy Red Stripe. Now that I think about it,
no,
I don't care.
We'll get it at the flea market.
Yeah, I have Red Stripe and USA lighters. There's new commercials for Red Stripe where it's like this guy, he's like standing in the laundromat and he pulls a $5 bill out of one of these pants and he finds $5, and then like there's this Jamaican like reggae band pops out of nowhere and they're like, "Ooh yeah, you found $5," and they like sing this song. And it's hilarious. It's like one of the greatest commercials ever. And I was talking about like that. After seeing that commercial, I turned to Matt and I was like, "Hey man, like we should drink Red Stripe on the show."
Oh, absolutely.
And if we hadn't forgot, like I totally would have bought Red Stripe. And that's how marketing works for me. But when I see a commercial for like Febreze, where it's like some shitty,
oh, they're sitting in some shitty place and they're like, "Okay, take off your blindfold."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, yeah, great. You made me sit down on a fucking gross ass couch. I fucking appreciate that."
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't make me want to use Febreze.
No.
It just makes me want to keep my house clean to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I don't need your fucking product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when I see commercials for cleaning products and it's like showing the before and after of the tub, and it's like, if your tub is as bad as that before picture,
sell your house.
Burn your house, because you're not getting anywhere in life if it's that bad.
No, absolutely.
But marketing to me, like, this is what I was baffled about. You know when you see a commercial for, say, like Cracker Barrel cheese, and it shows like some old guy in a little shop in the countryside, and he's like shaving the cheese and placing it up on a shelf.
Yeah.
And like, are people really sitting there going, "I bet that's how our cheese is made"?
It's like, no, it's not.
It's like, no, it's made in a giant melting pot the size of my house of boiling cheese and then pressed into blocks.
Yeah.
You know, like,
that old man is dead.
That old man's dead and he's in your cheese. But things like that, or like made with real beef, where it's like, well, we obviously know it's not made with real beef, but are people really falling for it? I feel like I'm too smart for commercials now.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe people just don't pay enough attention. Maybe you and I are too cynical.
Yeah.
Because my biggest issue, like, this
at.
is a little bit like over here, you know, like, but marketing and sponsorships. Do people legitimately take the fact that McDonald's is the #1 sponsor of the Olympics seriously?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, fuck that. The only thing you can, like, there's that big scandal with the guy from Jamaica where he wore the watch, you know? And they're like, so I was thinking about that later. Like, so would it have been cool if he ran down the track eating a fucking Big Mac?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but you can't wear a watch. That has nothing to do with the Olympics. What are you
exactly.
thinking? It's like, fuck off.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so that's the weird side of sponsorship and marketing and stuff like that. But
I just don't. I can't imagine there's people in the world who, because like I'll just like go with it. Like, I'm like, well, like, to me it's like sitting there and it's like, it says, "Oh, new McDonald's whatever Angus burger made with 100% Angus beef," and I'm sitting there going, well, I mean, I don't care if you say that. I know it's bullshit. Of course, it's not. Everyone like. But to me, it's
any
so
reasonable person.
But that's the thing. I'm saying, it's so obvious to me to go, well, everyone knows that's bullshit. But there must be people out there who think that,
like, oh, that could be healthy. Then.
Oh, that sounds better than.
Did you ever?
But who's that fucking stupid?
Yeah, well, it's just because I guess some people are, because they keep doing it.
They keep doing it.
They should maybe a different marketing plan would be to tell the truth. This shit will kill you, but fuck, it tastes good.
Oh, it's so good. The onions, they were only sitting out there for like 3 hours.
Oh,
awesome,
fantastic.
Yeah.
No, did you ever hear about? Like, it was a huge rumor and a hoax and stuff. But the McDonald's bought their beef, and it said on the box is 100% beef, right?
Yeah.
But the
name of the company.
The name of the company was 100% beef, and they actually used like cow eyeballs or something like that, which is a little much to think, because how much meat is in a cow, and then like, oh yeah, we're gonna use cow eyeballs.
Well, I'm sure they don't use, but that is true, because obviously, again, McDonald's beef, it's not 100% beef.
No,
I think everyone can just agree. It's like it would be incredibly impossible to
sell
just
food at the price they do.
Yeah, exactly. Think about how many goddamn McDonald's there are in the entire North America.
Think of how many there are in the west end of Ottawa.
Exactly.
I can think of 7 right now, and I'm not even trying.
Yeah, it's true.
It's disgusting to think, but you got to realize that they're selling hamburgers like, what is it? The double cheeseburger that goes for about
$1.40 something.
Yeah, $1.50. And you're like, that's not real beef if you're selling it at that
exactly.
price.
But that's true. The company is called 100% Beef. Just
really?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Not that I used to work there. Dun, dun, dun.
McDonald's makes all their money from their drinks.
Yeah. Wow. It blows me away though.
I hate them though because I do love that dollar drink thing in the summer.
Yeah, it gets you.
Yeah, you're just like, well, fuck. I guess I'm gonna have to.
I can't believe there are people that stupid that like. I feel. Am I really like one of maybe 20 people who I know who really sit there and go, well, I mean, I don't care if you say that on the show commercial, but doesn't everyone know that's bullshit about everything?
Isn't everybody going, no, let's not go to McDonald's anymore?
Yeah,
they're
like
lying to
like
me.
Lipton tea going hand-picked. Well, obviously it's not hand-picked. You know how much goddamn Lipton tea they sell in this world?
Yeah.
Think about how many supermarkets can you name off the top of your head, and how many do you think you've been in your life? 1 billion?
Yeah.
And every one of them stocks, fucking hundreds of pounds of tea? Do you
There's
think
not
some...
one guy just going...
Yeah, just breaking off leaves?
Yeah.
Some fucking,
Maybe they're talking about that big machine they have that just has hands.
It has little, metal hands going...
Hand-picked. We didn't say they were human.
Tim Hortons going it's all fair trade coffee. And it's like, well, I fucking doubt it.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize how much meat, we'll go meat as just a thing that they sell.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how many grocery stores there are. I saw a graph the other day that said there are 3,364 Walmarts in the United States.
Ugh.
That's just the United States, and that's only Walmarts. Plus the 5 other grocery stores per town.
Yeah.
In every small town of America.
Target.
All your Targets and such. And Walmarts all sell meat and stuff now.
All grocery stores.
Right?
Yeah.
But think about how many farms we don't know about. How there are places where big security, because if they had pictures of these factory farms, people would be like, holy shit.
That shit is out there. It's not out there enough.
People like to avoid that.
But people like to avoid the fact of how the chicken they're eating in fast food restaurants comes out of a machine as a fucking paste.
Yeah.
People avoid that because they still want to enjoy their goddamn chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
But
people will be like, Cheese Whiz is made with 100% real cheese. When Cheese Whiz comes out of the tube, it's gray, and they add the orange to it.
When Cheese Whiz is made, it's made of melted latex gloves.
Yeah.
That your doctor already used.
Do you really think a Kraft single slice is made with 100% cheese?
No, that is made of poisonous gas.
There's probably 3% cheese in all the cheese you eat, unless it's I'm sure Cracker Barrel cheese is real cheese.
Yeah.
But it's not made by some guy in a shop who's carving pieces of cheese.
No, it's just being done on a grander scale.
Yeah, but they show you that in the commercial, and people fall for it.
No, but are people falling for it, or are people just being that's kind of home, that's old school?
Yeah.
People like old timey shit.
Yeah.
Flea markets.
They start selling cheese at flea markets.
That's
what I'm saying.
It's 32 degrees. Get out of the tux and quit selling me fucking cheese.
Yeah. You got cheese all over you, old man. Christ.
Is it Cracker Barrel? Is it Cracker Barrel?
Cracker Barrel? Yeah, it blows me away.
Yeah, I just like to think that maybe 50% of people are buying it and 50% of people are avoiding the situation.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, you know what, fuck it. If I think about this too much, I'm not going to want anything to do with it. Mm-hmm. But McDonald's makes my life a hell of a lot easier. I don't even eat meat, but if I'm I want a drink, I'll just go through the drive-thru.
Yeah.
And be like, can I get a Fruitopia? And they're like, strawberry or orange? And I'm like, you're so friendly.
You have orange now.
That's a new thing, eh?
Yeah. Maybe we are cynical. Maybe you and I, just as people, are too cynical. Maybe there are people who just aren't cynical enough that they'll be like, well, maybe that's true, 100% beef. They don't
question it. Yeah.
Maybe
they're not
I just
stupid.
question.
They're just not oh, well, that sounds good.
I think I have to question too much shit.
Yeah, I question everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think I just see bullshit really easily.
Yeah. Well, that's why I hate so many people.
Exactly.
I hate so many people.
Yeah. People are always like, hate's a strong word. And I'm like, well, that's why the fuck I'm using that word.
Yeah.
Is because I hate a lot of people.
Yeah, because you see them right away and you go where you're like, you think it's 100% beef, don't you, you fucking asshole?
Exactly. Well, I bet you think cheese is just made by some old man with a hat in a shop and shit. And
I hate you now.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I think it's also maybe there's so many old people that's just good to trick them and stuff like that.
Yeah. Absolutely. I don't know. I think we're just upsetting ourselves now.
I am very
It's
upset.
100% beef, and an old man does make cheese. Can I go to sleep now? Will I have?
What did you just say to me?
Will I sleep better at night if I just believe these things?
Yeah.
Because most of the time I'm just sitting up on my beanbag chair wondering what to do next. Well, it's 5 a.m, Matt. Maybe you should go to bed. Fuck.
I think we're going to take a quick break. Good
Sounds
15 minutes, and then we'll pop back down here. Up here. And we'll do more
Ground
show.
level.
Maybe there's a reason I do a show at 7 is because then I'm here and I'm like, get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, I'm sleepy now.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
10
minutes. Break.
We're back in just about 15 minutes of more of the Fingerbang Radio Show. Stick around.
In 1943, two middle-class gentlemen had a dream to bring useless information and penis jokes to the masses. With the help of the new developments of the internet machine created by Al Gore, they set forth to create a program meant to entertain and offend. And so it was!
Unfortunately, the sons of these fine gentlemen chose not to continue their father's legacy. Luckily, years later, the grandsons of these men discovered their grandfather's porn, and along with it, their dream of penis jokes. Now, in the 21st century, the Fingerbang Radio Show returns in marvelous Technicolor with high-quality stereo sound where available.
Tune in every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern on uStream. New episodes every Saturday. The Fingerbang Radio Show.
If you're just tuning in, it's the Fingerbang Radio Show. Sitting here with Matt Francis. I can't stop. I kind of forgot. I'm sorry, guys. I kind of forgot to hit the record button. If you're just tuning in, we're just talking about how crazy some of the people in the presidential election in the United States are. Yeah. Talking about how crazy Mormons are for believing in magical underwear, and the fact that if you can pray hard enough, you don't have to be black anymore. Yeah. And these are real people who have a big following as presidential nominees in the U.S. election.
Well,
so we're just going to go from there.
Out,
He's out?
No, Rick Santorum.
Rick Santorum, yeah, that's true.
Like, this man believed that no medicine should be used to save people other than the one kind that they were using to treat his daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, get your fucking head out of your ass.
Exactly.
You know, thank God that guy's gone. But that guy had support too, and that was as scary as Mitt Romney. Mm-hmm. You know, this man has these ideals that just go back like 1,000 years.
But you know what, though, about the whole Rick Santorum one? You wish more people would have that kind of thing where it's like, well, I'll believe in something until I need to change that idea. Yeah. Like, you wish more people who are like hardcore Republicans would have gay kids and then be like, wow, my kid's gay.
I want him to have the same life. I want him to
have same life as everyone else. And then all of a sudden realize that what they were doing was very counterproductive to what their life is.
Human civilization in itself should be. I mean, you really do have these people who, like Mitt Romney, who's running for president, who's living in a time that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, he's very nostalgic, this man. I bet he goes to a lot of flea markets.
Probably buying old radios.
Can I get that old radio?
Buying like
I want to hear
he definitely has a God Bless America Zippo.
Yeah.
To light his candles.
Yeah, because he doesn't smoke.
He doesn't smoke because he's an asshole.
Yeah. Sarah Palin actually went to a Chick-fil-A just like 2 days after they made their big statement about how they were against
I don't want
to
say Chick-fil-A made the statement. I want to say the CEO.
Again, yeah, because you don't want to say all of Chick-fil-A's behind this. I guarantee they're like...
There's managers of Chick-fil-A's who are going, the fuck is this shit?
The hell, man? And they don't want to quit because they're like, this is the only job I can get, so now I have to be gay and put up with a bigoted company, you know, and just sell their shitty chicken.
But yeah, like you're saying...
But the fact that she goes into this store 2 days after... and is sitting there with, like, I don't know, it must be her husband or whatever, with 2 bags of Chick-fil-A going, like, we're here supporting a great local business. And it's like...
I'm going to punch you in the mouth.
Like, she deserves to be smacked. Like, that is a... Like, what is the matter with you?
Yeah, that you can... There's just somebody else who's just living in the past, who really, really... Bottom line is, if you think some people don't deserve the same right as everybody else, you're fucked up.
Yeah, exactly.
End of story. You are fucked up.
Yeah. Like, they showed a picture, and it was a church filled with, and this isn't just me saying they were black because just like as a like it's just filled with, it's like a church where like the biggest popular the people who go to church are all black people, and they're all got a picture of them holding their Chick-fil-A bags going, yeah, like we support this cause. And it's going, have you never read a book that said that not that long ago, and really wasn't that long ago, your people were denied rights and treated so terribly and killed and murdered and tortured to death because
worse than gay people are now.
Yeah. Because they were different in one way.
Because the same people, the people who want to be in charge now, were the people who were in charge then. And that's when you were just getting shot for no reason.
Yeah.
And this is not me just saying, like you said, like I'm not saying, I don't want to say anything I don't want to sound like a bigot, pretty much, But I just want to put this out there that what is wrong with you?
Yeah, no, but it's
like
going
you had your trials and tribulations too.
Yeah, and why do you feel it's necessary to put someone else through the same trials just because of something? And it is in the same category. People can go, well, you can't. It's like gay people don't just choose to be gay, and it's like people still. That's the thing. I think people still have this idea.
Gay people chose to be gay as much as you chose to be black, or you chose to be Hispanic, or you chose to. Whatever.
Also, first of all, if people were choosing to be gay, why in this world, in the United States, would they choose to put themselves through that?
To put themselves through this hate.
Yeah.
That now they have to fight for a right that they should already have? Mm-hmm. No.
It's nuts.
It's like, oh no, it's a lifestyle choice. Yeah. Okay. Because everybody wants to just be looked at, picked on.
First of all, besides, if you're just, like, I feel most of it's just people going, like, I don't like the idea of butt sex. That's most of it. But it's like, most of the gay people I know, pretty rad people. Because most of them are just very liberal people anyway. Because you don't meet a lot of, like, gay Republicans walking around.
I don't think I have the right to get married.
I don't know. I don't think it would be good for this world. No. But you don't run into that. And it's because, and most of them are just straight up cool people who just accept most things. And I think you and
I, would say, like, oh, all the gay people I've happened to meet are really cool because they have the same ideals as us. Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, it's like my one problem in life is that there aren't enough people who don't like gays on my Facebook that I can yell at. Like, that's my biggest issue in the world, is that there's nobody going like, I oppose gay marriage. That I can just go,
I support
go fuck
Chick-fil-A.
yourself. Yeah.
You don't. Yeah, I don't know. That's just not something you get in Canada though nearly as much. No. I mean, you get it. You get those assholes in high school or.
That's the thing. Like most of it,
people grow out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you get out of high school, because you kind of switch and you go to meet different people,
and you kind of change your views on things.
Yeah.
But that's the interesting thing. Like the United States right now, clearly there's a lot of right-leaning people under a democratic government, and we're under a conservative government.
But everybody's it's very strange.
Like everybody is, like the conservative people here are like fairly liberal people down in the States.
Yeah, like their Democrats are our conservatives. We don't have a perfect government. Like we'd still have like a lot of shit.
Yeah,
but
we don't have.
I would be. It's very fair to say that our government is doing a lot better job than
not hating people.
But also just like, they don't do a lot for other people. Like people always seem to forget about like natives here and stuff, and the fact that it's like, wow, that's like just treated like shit. Like it's people just got to a point where they're like, you know what, I don't want to put any more money into this.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, their problems are their problems now. Where it's like, well, those problems were caused by you in the first place. So get your shit together.
Thanks for the smallpox blankets. Now we're all very impoverished.
I was thinking more residential school. You thought like Christopher Columbus handing out sheets.
I'm thinking far back. I'm thinking like.
Well, it's true.
Like it all stems from something, right? Mm-hmm. And so does homophobia.
Yeah.
This comes back from this one thing where one guy was just like, oh, remember that part in the Bible where like
he says this, or
there was this thing. I think I told you about this the other day when we were chatting about it. But there's a picture on the internet, and Mitchell and I are avid
interneters. That's the term I coined it myself.
Yeah, and this guy had a great big tattoo on his arm, and it was the whole Leviticus thing about how being gay is wrong.
Yeah.
The paragraph under being gay
Yeah.
talks of how tattoos are just as sinful.
Yeah.
It's like, read the whole book or get the fuck out.
No, that's the thing. It's a big, like, it's like a user agreement when you sign up for something, where you just kind of scroll to the bottom and click accept.
Yeah, okay, great.
Like I've always said, like, as far as religion goes, it's like if you're not following the whole thing,
Then don't follow it at all.
then don't follow it at all. Like I always said, do you think you'll get to the gates in heaven and some guy will be going through 100-thing checklist, and if you get over 50, you're in? No.
Yeah.
It's
No.
like, oh, you got 51,
All right.
you're in. You're
All right.
fine.
51.
Oh, you got 49, sorry, you got to go to hell. Like you have to follow a certain amount. No.
It's like high school, right? It's
Yeah.
just no. It's when people use religion to better their own lives, right? Like it's like, this is gonna sound like an awful example, but it's like when a really, really fat chick goes premarital sex is a sin.
Yeah.
And you're just like, well, so's gluttony, you fucking cow.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
No, but it's so, I don't know. It's everything. It's like there's too many contradictions, and not to mention there are like a good over 100 different versions, like
Of the Bible,
of Christianity though.
Yeah.
Like there's Catholicism, there's Baptism, there's so many that follow little things.
Turns
and
out Mormons were right after all.
Exactly, but that's the thing. It's like, what if you get to heaven and the guy's like, you know that guy in the jungle who thought that the alligator in the water was God? What if that guy was right?
Yeah.
And then you look like fucking... Just because your religion is more popular makes it more correct?
That one guy who follows this strict rule of masturbating 5 times a day turned about to be correct.
Yeah.
He's the only one there. He's very alone.
And he's having a good time.
It's like, you can do whatever you want. It's fine.
It's nuts.
It's a live your life moment, you know? Like,
exactly.
people spend 80 years of their life doing what they think is right, you know, to an end that we're not even sure of.
But I like... Because we can argue and say, like, oh, this person must think they're right. But to me, I'm going, well, obviously I'm right. It's just logically I'm more right by going, hey, I'm saying do whatever you want. Don't hurt people. Help each other out. And that's it. Like,
The
you know,
basis of the Bible is the golden rule that you learn when you're, like, in grade 1.
Yeah.
It says, don't do to people what you don't want them to do to you.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the basis.
Let's also do to people what you want them to do to you.
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
it's like, okay,
yeah.
if you were poor, would you want someone to give you money? Yeah, so give that guy money.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
You know, don't stand there and be like, get a job, you fucking slob, or whatever it is.
exactly.
Because maybe someday you're going to lose your job. You're going to be sitting on the ground and somebody's going to call you a piece of trash.
Yeah.
And you're not going to feel very good about
It's
yourself.
like the guy was like, there's more people showed up to Chick-fil-A's after the whole thing than people who showed up to help to feed poor people at a shelter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, maybe you should stop focusing on we don't like gays and start focusing on the other things that Jesus told you to fucking fix.
So
you
don't
know?
sleep with your neighbor's wife.
Yes,
You know,
yeah.
don't steal.
I mean, honestly, like I've met a million Christians and shit, and it's like don't get me wrong. There's a couple that are excellent people and very nice and follow
And they
good
just
right.
happen to be religious.
Yeah, exactly. But there are some where it's like, if you're an asshole 6 days a week, just the worst person, the kind of person who just makes you feel so bad that you don't even want to go somewhere, people have experienced that kind of thing where it's just someone so terrible.
Yeah.
But then on Sunday you go and all of a sudden you're okay because you went to church on Sunday.
And
where
sang
I
a couple
can treat
songs and
it's like I'm not the nicest person, but I treat people with respect all week. I don't treat people like shit most of the time.
Yeah.
Right? But then, because I don't go to church on Sunday, all of a sudden I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
It's fucking
no,
crazy.
but no, the opposite is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
No, it's a double standard. It's a double standard
Oh, it
now
is,
where
yeah.
people think that the little things that they do in the eyes of God make them a good person. Well, it's not true.
Yeah.
Because being a good person is like, can you I think the most blind of people are the people who look at themselves in the mirror and convince themselves they're a good person.
Mm-hmm.
I've done some shitty things in my life,
Yeah.
but I'll admit to every goddamn one.
Yeah.
You know, and I like to think that I did a good thing for every bad thing I've ever done.
Like Matt and I were driving down the road the other day, and we pulled over because we saw an old lady in a wheelchair who looked like her fucking chair was like out of batteries
And that
or
she
something.
may have been dead.
And that she may have been dead. It was raining. But there were probably people who drove right by her and went, I'm sure she's fine, who were probably on their way to church the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. People were going, well, I'll say I forgot to do it in that little booth where I confess my sins.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I should have stopped to see this lady. It's like, yo, you are forgiven. Meanwhile, she has hypothermia.
Rub your necklace a bunch, say these words, and you're all good.
Yeah. It's just, people don't, I don't want to hate on what people want to do with their lives. If you're religious and you're happy being religious, be religious.
Yeah, but actually follow
follow it, and don't just assume that those things itself will make you a good person. No. Make yourself a good person. Yeah. And that...
If you're a fucking person you want, like, people want to be around...
If you want to be around yourself.
Yeah.
If you can look at yourself in the mirror every day... I can wake up sometimes and be like, I should shave or cut my hair or take a shower one of these days. But I can be like, once people get past my body odor, they think I'm kind of funny and enjoy me. You know? If you can look at yourself in the mirror, you don't need that justification from this invisible man in the sky.
Yeah. Well, that got deep.
Imagine this is the one episode that this gets like 10,000 hits, and then all these Chick-fil-A people just hate on us.
Yeah.
And
we're not only not sponsoring you, but I'm stealing your shit.
Damn it.
I don't know, man.
I'm worn out, you know?
I'm worn out. I'm tired of people's shit.
Yeah, that's just it. And I'll complain every day. Mitchell and I are avid complainers. Mm. We really are. But, you know, for the most part, I complain about pretty petty shit. But this is really something that gets on my nerves, you know, to the point where I'm distraught, you know? And it goes right back to what we were really going to talk about was this man who's running the country, or wants to run the country, the United States.
I'm almost, like, stressed. Like, election to me, it's like watching a fucking...
Oh my god, I scratched my neck a bunch of times.
I get nervous. Like, I'm like, can you imagine? Like, I feel like actually afraid. Like, what if this guy actually gets power? We're all fucked. Yeah. And people don't seem to notice.
No, people are just like, oh, no, we'll be fine.
I'm sure we'll be okay.
Yeah. When this guy goes, no. When
George Bush seems like a good idea, you got problems.
Yeah. When George Bush just seems like a dumbass who doesn't really know what he's doing, and that's okay.
Because the guy coming in, he is a dumbass, but he knows what he's doing. Yeah. That's even worse.
Yeah. At least George Bush was kind of confused by his own morals.
Yeah. Do I like the gays?
Like, sometimes.
That's all right.
I experiment in college just like everybody else. I went to college
too. What was I going to say? Shit. I don't know, man.
Speaking of complaining, you can follow us on Twitter.
Actually, yeah, that's true. If you want to follow Matt on Twitter, you can get him at Matt J.K. Francis. It's actually, if you're watching the live stream, it's going across the top. At Matt J.K. Francis. If you want to follow myself, at Mitch Valliere, Vallieres. I'm sure you're rewinding right now, so you can catch that and be like, ooh, I bet he's funny. And you would be right. He's very hilarious.
J.K. doesn't stand for just kidding.
Yeah, we know. Or does it?
Sometimes.
It sometimes does.
I'm not normally kidding on Twitter, though.
I'm always kidding on Twitter. It's my game.
Yeah, but it's how you feel.
Yeah. Angry. Upset.
All the time.
Distraught.
Yeah.
You can look for our new shows. They'll be coming soon. Matt and I will be bumping out an episode of Hardcovered. Cake Talk Productions first, and probably the only, book review show. So we're reviewing books and building a soundtrack
all
to the books.
All intellectual and stuff.
You can also look out for Dry Spells, Cake Talk Productions' first Dungeons and Dragons podcast, hosted by myself, Dungeon Master Ian Mitchell, and Brandon Doucette, with a changing weekly guest. We can catch us every Friday with the Fingerbang Radio Show, Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern on uStream, like you're watching right now, which you should be.
And they're up on YouTube on Saturday.
Yeah, new episode Saturday. And the website should be up soon, and then we'll have the episodes up there, and we'll be able to do other stuff.
And you'll see me in a bathtub.
Yeah. And if you didn't catch that, we'll just leave you wondering.
Loofah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you one of those loofahs on a stick, so when you're in the tub, I'll be like, oh, that's gross.
And I'll be like, I have a lot of dead skin on my back.
It's so dry. I'm like, get out of my mom's tub. We're not even filming right now.
You got to take a bath before you film taking a bath.
I don't know, man. I'm just, I'm done, right? That's why we go at 7, not 10.
That's why we go at 7, because now Mitchell and I are tired, and it's almost midnight. We're like, I just want to watch TV.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I've been watching Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's great.
I've been rewatching Friends.
Yeah.
Realizing now how hilarious that show is. Great show.
It's great.
Yeah. I'm not gonna...
I cry at the end every time. Every time I watch the last episode.
Never seen it. Never seen
Wanna
the
know what
last
happens?
episode. No. Don't you fucking ruin this for me.
Turns out Chandler's his own brother.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
That would make sense. His family's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, they are. Oh, I love it. It's so great. He eats Thanksgiving in a box every year and shit. Because he's like, hates Thanksgiving. It's amazing.
Yeah, perfect.
But, this is more serious. Like, if my Brandon comes on and we're just like, hey man, imagine if we had 2 jet skis and we just fucking slam them together. And then, like, Ian comes on and it's, like, kind of political. And then you come on, it's either or.
Yeah.
So you're my either or. Depends on how I feel.
I'm excited for when I can show up on dry spells.
Yeah, yeah.
So I feel like that's just going to be me punching Ian.
Yeah. That should be fun. I mean, we gotta get some artwork and stuff done. I gotta get fucking... If anybody out there knows someone who has a fucking quality camera so we can get some artwork and stuff done, or if you know Photoshop, or you know anything, like, contact me immediately. You can get me on Facebook. You can get me through the group. Just join our Facebook group, The Fingerbang Radio Show.
Twitter.
Like, find us through Cake Talk Productions. Just like Cake Talk Productions on Facebook. You can send me an email, fingerbangradio@gmail.com. Just get in contact with me if you have a good camera and you're in the Ottawa area. If we can just get you to do some work. We have lots of different ideas for stuff we want to do. We'll credit you all the work that you do. But we need the stuff done.
And we need the support.
And we need the support. If you do own a video camera, like, I'm not talking like a handheld. If you own like a nice camera, like video camera, like, we need video editors. We need these things.
Sounds so desperate right now.
I do, man. I'm fucking pissed. I do all this shit. I do so much work for this show. People wonder why I drink. We have some new splitters. You might have heard them on that break there. If you're listening on the podcast stream that Matt Francis and I put together.
Hey, guy.
Hey, guy. Yeah, those. So, yeah. Well, thanks for coming down. I don't know. I'm pretty done right now.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I don't mind. We did one. I'm going to upload 2 this Saturday anyway, because we have the last one and this one.
Right on.
The other one was called Bonus Show, and this one will be like the actual episode 13, I guess.
And when we get back together again, we can talk all about our flea market
extravaganza.
adventures.
Yeah.
Yes.
We should take videos on our phones too while we're there.
I'm down.
And we'll kind of tweet. I'm going to start tweeting. So hashtag Cake Talk Flea Market Travels, and we'll just kind of tweet.
That's too long. Flea market bonanza.
We'll think of something, but
Okay.
anyway, you can
if you
follow
have any
us on...
suggestions, let us know.
Let us know. Anyway, just to sign off, thanks for listening. Thank you to Matt Francis for stopping by. If you want to learn more about Matt, you can follow him on Twitter at MattJKFrancis. You can like his band Weird with Cats, who's... You want to give him a quick update about what's going on with that?
Yeah, we're going into the studio in about 2 weeks to finish recording our EP. We took a little break.
New songs written and everything like that?
New songs written, stuff like that. It's going to be called Random Violence and Flying Things.
Cool.
Weird with Cats. Should be fun stuff.
So, if you want quick updates about what's going on with Weird Cats, you can follow them on Twitter. Like Weird with Cats on Facebook. Like Cake Talk Productions on Facebook. That's our little production company going on here. And all these new shows that we have coming out, all the announcements will be going on right there. Join the Facebook group for this show at The Fingerbang Radio Show on Facebook. And thanks for coming down, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
All right, everybody. See you later.
Hey, guy. Smell my fingers, guy. Get off of me! It's the Fingerbang Radio Show, guy. It's live every Friday at 7. New episodes every Saturday. Just give it a sniff. Guy?
Why does this always happen?